In this video, you will learn how to design ASCII art in Adobe Photoshop.
Dreadlabs.
What's going on, everyone? My name is Tom from Dreadlabs, and in today's video we're going to talk about ASCII art. And that's not what you might think it is, or whatever the auto-translate will pick up in the subtitles. ASCII art. That's what I'm talking about in this video. So if you do not know what this is something that became popular in the early days of the internet, where people would make art based on typing stuff in text boxes, basically. And nowadays it's a lot easier to do, also kind of less impressive, but that's okay, of course. But what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to create stuff like this for yourself. So without any further ado, let's dive straight into the video. So I'm on a website called ASCII Art Archive. This website has all kinds of tools to create this type of art, but in today's video what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to create it based on images that you made yourself. Because if you're watching this, I presume that you're a graphic designer, since all of the content on my channel is revolved around graphic design and digital art. Anyways, you want to go to the image to ASCII Art Generator. Before we're going to drop in our image, of course, you can just upload something by clicking here. So what I've made here is pretty simple. I've made some text, a 3D render of a skull, which you can get on my website. The link to that skull and the rest of this asset package will be in the description down below as well. And some tribal shapes that are also part of another asset pack on my website with a chrome effect on it from another asset pack on my website. And just a disclaimer, of course, you can just drop in any design that you like. I just made something really quick from assets that I had laying around. But if you do want to support the channel, get your packs on dreadlabs.net. Anyways, I've already exported this as a PNG, so I'm going to show you what it looks like if we upload it on this website. And as you can see, it already makes something really cool. And if you want to up the scale, you can add more characters to this. You might have to scroll to the side a little bit, depending on how large your image is or what form it is, of course. But this, of course, obviously gives your image a lot more detail. We can even play around with the brightness, although I kind of did that already in Photoshop, so I'm not going to really touch the contrast, brightness, saturation, hue, grayscale, and sepia. But if you're just uploading an image, you can just do that by yourself and play around with it, of course. Something that might come in handy is the sharpness button. If you really want to add in like sharpness and detail, it's sometimes difficult to see what it is that you're making use of this generator. So I might advise you to play around with the sharpness a little bit. But to be completely honest, of course, you can just play around with these sliders yourself. I'm going to show you how to play around with these sliders. One thing that I do want to show you, however, is the ASCII gradient. And this lets you basically choose which characters you want to use for this art. If we click on alphabetic, for example, it will only use letters from the alphabet. There even are arrows, alphanumeric, so that's also containing numbers. In my opinion, the extended high and the normals work quite well. The minimalist is also pretty nice, but the code page 437, and the black and white ones have some really cool features. These just are containing like black blocks. And if you want to go for something like that, that also really works well, I feel like. In my case, we're just going to go with normal. So all you need to do now is click on copy to clipboard. And you want to open up Photoshop. I'm just making a new document and I'm going to make a text window with the text tool and press Ctrl V on my keyboard. Now, as you can see, I've done some really random stuff here. I'm just going to make my text black for a quick second and lower the size of my font to maybe 15 pixels, a little bit too much. Let's do 9. And as you can see, we already have our art here. I've just added a white background real quick so we can see it a little bit better. So a couple of things to note here. One is if you just pasted it in and it looks like this, like it's kind of morphed, all you need to do is set your kerning from optical to matrix. The next part, and that's pretty important as well, is if you want to use a font for this kind of stuff, you need to use monospace fonts because that will ensure you that there's enough space between each and every character. So if you just go to your fonts here, you can basically see that on the left here you have all classes. All you need to do is click on monospace and pick out the font that you want to use. And I think this one is fine. So if you want to scale this, I would recommend to lower the text box to the point where your art is still like kind of in the bounding box. And now by pressing Ctrl or Command T on your keyboard, you can just scale the whole text window up. But the thing is, if you want to align this kind of stuff, it's a little bit weird because it's probably not perfect and there's a little bit of white space around here. So what I would do is right click and convert this layer to Smart Object. And then we have the bounding box around the exact edges. And we can align this to the middle right here. And of course, what we can do now is maybe we'll add in a black background. And we'll give this a white color overlay or a green color overlay. Gray also is pretty cool, I feel like. But yeah, there you have it, guys. So as you've seen, this is pretty easy to do in Photoshop. If you want to stick around for the rest of the video, that's completely fine, because in this case, I'm going to maybe add some things to this art to make it look a little bit more cool, I guess. I just don't want it to be like a boring flat image. On the screen right now, you can see the end result of what we're going to make in the next couple of minutes. If you want to get the PSD file for that, the link for that will be in the description down below. That will lead to my Patreon page, where you can find all of the PSD files, Illustrator files, After Effects files, and Cinema 4D files from all of my tutorials. And let me just tell you, that's over 200 project files for just $5 a month. And you can even just subscribe for 1 month, get some project files that you need, and unsubscribe immediately. No hard feelings there. But I just wanted to let you know that that way, or grabbing some assets on my website, is a way to support my channel and keep up the video tutorials for you guys for free. With that being said, let's return to Photoshop and create some cool art. Alright, so maybe we should add a glow. So we'll go to outer glow. I'm going to reset this to default so you can follow along. I'm going to up the opacity and the size a little bit. And this gives some like cool digitalized effects. And I want to use a gradient for this. And on the right color, I'm just going to add in a green color so it has a slight green glow. Kind of give that matrix vibe to it, I guess. And we'll change the blend mode to normal and the opacity to 100%. And maybe we'll add in the color a little bit earlier, around 50%, so that the color isn't like this really faded white. And now we can just change the blend modes again and lower the opacity some more. Lower the spread to 0%. Maybe we'll make the text a little bit lighter. So in the background, I'm going to make a slight gradient from black to dark gray. Like this, as if there's light emitting from the bottom. What I was thinking is maybe we can add some mask effects to this so that it will be digitalized. So what I'm going to do is, with the mask of the gradient selected, I'm going to go to Filter, Render, Clouds. Next, what I'm going to do is go to Filter, Noise, Add Noise, and we'll add in 25% noise. And we're going to go to Filter one more time, go to Pixelate, Mosaic, and let's make the cell size maybe 10. And it's a little bit difficult to see right now, but if we hold Alt or Option if you're on a Mac and click on this mask icon here, this is basically a layer mask of the gradient. So everywhere where it's darker, things will be invisible, and where it's lighter, things will be visible. Let me just click Alt or Option again and go back here. Next, we're going to go to Image Adjustments and click on Threshold. Make sure that you still have your mask selected. And as you can see, we now have this pixelated gradient in the background a little bit. So it's a little bit more random where this gradient is occurring. And another thing that I want to do is add in a posterize. And that way, it's a little bit difficult to see. Let's zoom in here. We can posterize the gradient, I guess, so that there's some more, a little less color data in there than it used to. So as you can see, there's like 4 colors now. Let's make this invisible. It's a little bit difficult to see, I guess, but I hope you can see it well. So what we can do next is duplicate the smart object here. And I'm just going to call this ASCII because it doesn't really have a layer name. And on the top layer here, I'm going to add in a filter, go to Other, and then click on Offset. And basically we're just going to randomize these numbers like this, as you can see right here. And this creates this really cool glitch effect. It's a little bit too drastic, of course. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate the layer mask that we had for the gradient map, which you can do by holding Alt or Option on our keyboard and then clicking and dragging and moving that mask. And now basically the glitch is only visible wherever the mask is visible, of course. It's a little bit too out there still. So what I want to do is add in more noise. Again, pixelate that with the mosaic. We can just repeat these filters, and then we're going to go to Image Adjustments, Threshold again. And if we lower the threshold, things will be less visible. And finally, what we want to do is add in a Gaussian blur to blur this out a little bit more. And let's see, maybe we can change around the offset a little bit to move these parts around. But it's actually pretty cool. I like this glitch effect. Finally, I'm going to press Control or Command if you're on a Mac, Alt or Option if you're on a Mac, Shift and the letter E. And this will make a duplicate layer of everything that's visible. We're going to add a Gaussian blur to that with, I think 15 pixels is fine. And we're going to change the blend mode to screen, maybe even add. We'll add a linear dodge because we always use the screen blend mode. Then we'll lower the opacity to 50%. And this will add a nice glow to our art. And if we want to top this off with some noise or grain texture, that's something that I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna use the quick noise from my latest asset pack, Trends Essentials. But of course you can just simply add in a new gray layer and add some noise to that and change the blend mode. It's fairly easy. Or you can basically just use any texture you'd like. So I'm pretty happy with this actually. But that's the end of the video. I hope you found this useful. I hope this inspired you to create some ASCII art for yourself. Or maybe you haven't found the right tools yet, and maybe that's where this video came in handy. Like I said earlier, if you want to get the project files for yourself, the link for that will be in the description down below. If you want to share whatever you make using this tutorial, you can join us on my Discord server where we have a lot of designers and other creatives, and you can share your work there or ask for feedback or help others out becoming better at design. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please leave a like on the video down below and place a comment to help the engagement, because that stuff just does a lot for my channel and it's completely free to do so. If you're interested in more tutorials, I highly suggest you check out my YouTube channel because I have over hundreds of videos all containing cool Photoshop and Illustrator tutorials. With all of that being said, this is Tom from Dreadlabs tuning out. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Dreadlabs.